Welcome back to Opening Bell, folks. Joining us now is Joy Lee, Creative Development Producer at RYOT, a website dedicated to technology and exploring human rights issues all around the globe. Joy, good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
It's good to have you. So I know that you all are dabbling heavily in not only virtual reality, but augmented reality as well. Let's start there. Tell us what you all are doing in that new space.
Well, augmented reality is still a pretty new space, but what we love to do is create different campaigns and different creative ways to tell stories. And if you are you guys familiar with what augmented reality does or how it works?
Absolutely. I mean, we talk about it all the time here at Cheddar, so we know that for right now, Snapchat wants to own it in the mobile app space, but also for creative people, I think they really want to use VR and AR to create empathy through storytelling. So when you put something on, so the first time I ever did VR, it was a Syrian project, and I put it on, and I was in a room, and you could feel the blast, you could hear it around you, and so yeah, I felt like I was kind of there, and I know a lot of storytellers want to be able to create that in their movies, in their films, documentaries especially, to bring audiences into whatever environment story they want to tell. Absolutely. And that's what you want to do.
Absolutely. I mean, that's the power of storytelling, right? And this is the newest technology in order to really bring you to a different space, and that's a very different way of experiencing a story and a perspective than we had access to before. So I don't know if you guys can see this, but this is, a 360 headset that we often use.
It's the Gear. So this is the new Samsung Gear VR, which you can get.
Yes. This is actually available for only $100, so it's very accessible. We actually had some kids come into our office yesterday for the Take Your Child to Work Day, which was an absolutely crazy day. But we had them try these headsets on, and it was actually kind of an incredible experience to see them take that.
Right. So you call yourselves a citizen. What does that mean, and not a business or an enterprise of sorts?
Citizen. We talk about citizen in terms of people who are on the ground, really part of the world and hoping to become part of that fabric that participates in not only talking about stories and telling stories, but taking action and engaging on the day-to-day scale.
What are some of the most crucial stories and headlines that are emerging from the global community right now that you like to cover, and why are they so important to you?
I think there are endless amounts of stories, right? But I think it always boils down to a very core shared experience. How do we think about all these differences and all these vast experiences and make it into something that's relatable for everybody? I mean, what I mean is, even if you have this, civil war that's happening in Syria, right, or a civil war that's happening in Yemen, I think a lot of people here might feel very alienated from that experience because it's very different from their day-to-day life. I mean, it's quite literally happening on the other side of the world. And with experiences like virtual reality, you can kind of bring that closer home and bring in different perspectives and more of a shared experience and make it a little bit more of a reality for people.
And we're showing some clips from the film Watani, My Homeland, which is a film that you guys helped produce. It was also nominated for an Oscar. Is this the first time that an Oscar has recognized a piece of film that was VR, AR based?
Well, actually, Watani was not a VR film. It was a linear film of what we call flattened image. So to that, it's I can't answer to VR, AR.
So why didn't you make it VR, AR if that's something that you guys are trying to do?
I think mediums of VR and AR and 360 are an extremely important thing to explore. But again, I think it's very important to always draw the line of when a story is going to be better and complemented by 360 space, and I think the story was powerful in the way that it was.
Yeah, these are also very new technologies, not even really ever totally familiar yet with how to even ingest media that comes into that form. So if you do have a really crucial story you want to convey, perhaps it's almost more palatable to do it in a more traditional form.
Right, and so talk about the decision then, when you have a story, how do you know if it's going to be better in VR versus in linear?
I think this takes a lot of experience of trying to think through the stories, but for me it always boils down to how do we think about 360, right? 360 is about the space and the experiential feeling that you are going through. And I think a story that has a lot more of a narrative arc and that focuses on the nuances and the intricacies and details are definitely most better told in linear format. And 360 for me is very much about how do you just take a second to experience something different.
Okay.
Before we lose you real quick, I know yesterday you mentioned take your child to work day.
Yes.
I have to admit, if I were a little kid, I would love this stuff. So what, I mean, were the kids just
Were they
like
playing with
blown
this
away by it,
iPad
or
that you
what?
have?
They were playing with his iPad. They were playing with
was on the
my
iPad?
headset. Yeah, let me give
Just
you
really quickly, yeah.
Let me give you a.
So this is the platform that you guys have, right? This.
Yeah. So we have a film that premiered at Tribeca this year,
Okay.
and we have a poster right here. I'm not sure if it's mirroring.
Did it freeze up a little
It
bit? There we
froze
go.
up on me. I think it's opening
So
up.
this is your app, and what are you doing? You're scanning a photo.
I'm scanning a photo.
Oh, so the photo is
Oh,
flat.
look
But
at
if
that.
you use, so this is the
Exactly.
augmented reality, right? So this is what you guys will be able to do in the future. You'll take a picture of anything, or put your phone at something that's static, and then what you see on screen is something that's more dynamic.
Exactly.
Wow. Because the viewers can't see, but on the desk is just this still photo. But here we are with all these added things. Wow, very cool. Okay,
Yes.
awesome. Oh yeah, so
There you
kids have to
go.
be going nuts for that.
Oh man, they were having
So, yes.
such
Yeah,
a
yeah, so this is
blast.
the
So
regular photo.
this is the photo that she was looking at. It's just flat. But again,
doesn't move.
when you saw it through the app, this person's jacket was blowing in the
It's
air.
a special photo?
So this is a still actually from our film that was premiering in Tribeca called
Excellent.
Waspia.
Wow.
Right, and the app is the thing that makes it come to life.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that's a visually
Augmented
engaging
reality.
way to convey it. I love it.
Yeah.
That's very cool. All right, well, Joy
Perfect.
Lee, creative developer, producer over at RYOT. Thank you very much for joining us.
Of course,
Very cool
absolutely.
stuff.
Thank you for having
Thank
me.
you.
Thanks for watching Cheddar on YouTube. For more clips of CEO and startup interviews, click one of the videos right here or subscribe to us to get our live alerts right here